What up, Laker Nation? You here with your boy Kareem, aka Mr. 100 Likes. How you guys doing? Wow. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, man. I was listening to the sports shows ESPN this morning, and I heard them talking about shortening the season. They asked Patrick Beverly his think on shortening the season. Pat Bev wasn't having it. Um, and I really appreciate Pat Bev for that, man. I really appreciate Pat Bev. Like I said, you can see real fast. You know what I mean? So I said, let me see what this is about. 'Cause I've been hearing it, but I said I want to see how much legs this had. If it's just something that they just want to have a conversation in the media about, just the, because sometimes they just create stories just to keep it going when they don't have nothing to talk about. So that's why I ain't never really dug into it too much. You know what I'm saying? So I said, let me see how serious, and let me see, because I keep hearing this. I heard little rumblings before about this. So I called my guy, man. I called him. I said, yo, what's up with this? What's good with this? He told me, he said, yo, Doc, he said, I think more so than ever, I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to shorten the season. They talk about, he said, 68 games. And I was like, so how they going to do that? The players going to agree to that, and they're going to lose out money because the owner's not going for shortening the games and they getting the same salary. He said a lot of players fine with it because they, with the thinking of that the NBA, far as the revenue sharing goes up every year. Like long as the NBA doing well, that goes up. So long as that goes up, players' salary goes up. Yeah, they'll be losing out on games, but in the long run, it'll probably be leveling off. What they won't be losing, and also the big thing is this play-in tournament that they stand to make a lot of money in the playoff tournament, where in the end season playoff tournament, in the end season tournament, in the end season tournament, they stand to make a lot of money. So at the end of the day, it gonna balance itself out, like with the NBA revenue going up each year, and plus the end season tournament. So they fine with the playing 68 games. I was just disgusted hearing this, man, and he said something to me because I was like, I heard Stephen A. and them guys talking about it today. They said that in Evo, they said the owners and them rest players. They rest players, and they kind of for a shortening season. He said he don't know where they get that from. He said don't listen to that part there. He said the owners is definitely not for a shortening season. He said shortening season don't benefit the owners at all. He said the owners is not want a shortened season. He said what it is isolated situations, man. He said you may have one or two owners or probably want to scale their players back because he said at the end of the day these players complaining, and a lot of these owners and general managers is kissing these players' ass or don't want to get on their bad side. So any complaints that player have, they want to accommodate them. So the owner don't care if a player, sit out a couple games, look like they for them. He said because the players complain all the time that these owners is not for them. These owners, they out for themselves, they not for them, this, that, and the third. And he said so these owners, some of them go out their way to try to accommodate these players. That's why they might tell them, oh, it's all right, you can sit, what about these games, that game? But he said at the end of the day, they not really for that. He said don't believe that. And he said that's not true because they complain, and this thing here, he said he won't be surprised if it's a lockout. He said because that's one of the players' strongest things the players really want is that the shortened season. He said the players is banking on that. He said they're gonna get the votes because it's a certain amount of play out of 450 players. They got to have a certain amount percent of players to implement the 68 games. You know what I mean? And he said they're going to get it by a landslide. He said majority players will vote for a shortened season. He said because basically, he said a lot of these guys is followers. And he said the key is, he said he going to be honest with me. He said Bron being quiet about this, but Bron was pushing a shortened season ahead, and now he's scaling back. He said everybody know Bron wants shortened season because a shortened season protect his records. Like if LeBron will get the scoring title, if them guys play 68 games, there's nobody breaking that scoring title. Because Bron realized now, thing is the difference between now and the past. Players coming in the league at 19 years old, and a lot of players going to have a lot of longevity, the way the style of play of the game. So now you're going to have tons of players playing 20-something years in the league because the physicality and things like that for the season. And he said, so LeBron and people know, he said this been going around that he do this to he protecting a lot of his records because the shortened season benefit a lot of guys who has records, period. Because a lot of these guys nowadays gonna be playing real long compared to back in the days. Average guys playing 10 years and they was considered veterans. Look at the top players like Isaiah, James Worthy, and them guys left 12, 13 years. And that was considered like long careers. Like a lot of guys was doing 17. You had a select few getting that many years in the league. So and he was just telling me, man, he's like, and I was saying that, I think Adam Silver, me personally, he's doing a little too much. And me personally, I don't like the game today. I'm really getting frustrated with it. I'm just so much of a basketball guy, but I'm getting real frustrated with it because they trying to change the game so much where it's unrecognizable. What Adam Silver doing, this is me speaking, because I don't want it to go back like it's on him. This is me speaking, you know what I mean? Because he works with NBA, so this is me speaking. I think that they're doing too much to change the game, and I think it's going to backfire and ruining the game. They're trying to make the game too much unrecognizable compared to the games for the people who played years ago. And I think it's a real disrespectful because it's a beautiful game, and I think that it's disrespectful to a lot of the pioneers because you have to have some tradition. NBA is going away from they all tradition. Basically, guys like Bill Russell, Jerry West, Bob Cousy, and them guys there, in the next few years, the game is not going to be something totally different. And I think there's nothing wrong with change, but I think they're doing too much of the change. You're doing the 82 game change. Now guys don't have to wear suits on the bench. They could wear their regular clothes on the bench. Coaches now, what I'm hearing, that they might stick to the polo shirt. They might not have to wear suits. And me personally, I like the suits with the coaches and injured players. I don't care about players when they come to the arena, but sitting down and on that bench with a suit, I like that because it shows some professionalism. This is a $1 billion operation, and it should look like $1 billion. I don't want everything to look street and hood to meet guys with jewelry, guys with jeans and shirts on and hoodies with the warm-up suits. I don't like none of that. I think it's trash. That hoodie thing was definitely a LeBron James thing. I don't like the All-Star thing. What LeBron thing, James changed with the LeBron versus Steph All-Star thing, where it should be East and West. They're changing too much of tradition of the NBA. You know what I mean? East and West, it should be important. You battle out with the guys 4 times a year. Yeah, 1 time of the year, y'all be teammates and y'all represent y'all conference. You're Western Conference, you represent that. You Eastern Conference, you represent that. You taking away from that with this LeBron versus Steph or Giannis, whoever the player is, you're taking away from that. I think that's garbage. I don't like the hoodies because they try to throw it to Draymond, but it's not. No, I told you guys before, it had nothing to do with no Trayvon Martin. They try to make it that, but what it is, LeBron and Adam Silver really trying to put their stamp on the NBA. LeBron and Adam Silver is tied to the hip. You know what I mean? And LeBron, a lot of these rule changes, not a lot, but the All-Star games, with the hoodies, and I think that hoodie thing, they trying to say, oh, it's all right where a guy shouldn't be able to gun somebody down because they have a hoodie on, but let me tell you now. Let me tell you some real stuff that's garbage, because that was just an isolated incident where a guy who just a piece of shit and George Zimmerman. And that's still reality now. I'm right here. Now, before COVID, everybody noticed when guys do robberies or guys about to lay their murder game down, they throw their hoodies on and they come creeping. A guy cannot come strolling through here and I don't know him with his hood down and I barely can see his face. I'm not going for that. I'm watching him and see how it's going to play out. Robberies, guys did it just before the COVID with the mask. That was the thing. I don't want this thing to look like no hood thing. I'm tired of this hood stuff, man. You guys, I know some of the guys gonna be LeBron James fans and always just disagree with things, but let's be grown-ups about this. Come on, man. NBA would make NBA special when the NBA players can walk the streets and they recognizable. Now they on the bench. I remember back like in the 80s, and I was a kid. We had the Polaroid camera, and we went down, and I took a picture of Walter Davis, and I had a clean shot. He was sitting on the bench, and I took another picture. It was Michael Cooper, Mike McGee, and and Jamal Wilkes. They was on the bench, clear picture. They had no hoods and stuff on. Now these players on the hoods with their bench, they covering their face. It's just not a good look. You know, like I said, the NBA trying to do too much rule change. I like the play-in tournament because it stops. That makes sense because it stops tanking. You know what I mean? You give teams and March still reasons to play for. You know what I mean? And so a lot of this is bull crap. Talk about all the stars in the NBA, they not playing in the playoffs because there's too many games. Let me tell you how it's bullshit, right? Because Kawhi Leonard, he could have played. He chose not to play. Zion Williams could have played. Well, the Pelicans, they scaled him back because they didn't want a chance because his weight. But he could have played. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. could have played. They didn't want to play. Like I said, it's guys that could have played that didn't play. So it don't all guys had to miss games in the playoffs. Couldn't play the playoffs because of that. That is not true. That is not true right there. And like I said, it's disrespectful to the guys came before these guys. Picture this, man. You got guys who right now don't even have no money. These guys is playing. Let's just talk about the 80s and 90s. I'm not talking about the 70s because that was before my time. But the 80s and 90s, a lot of these guys don't have it like that. Them guys, a lot of guys getting 700,000-800,000. Some's getting $1 million. Now, mind you, stuff get taxed, and then they got child support and different things like that. So these guys broke, ain't complaining about none of this. They went out and played 82 games if they wasn't hurt, and they went out and battled and they played. You know what I mean? But now these guys today ain't complaining about everything. And the difference is you can make more money today than you did, because now you can have these players, the YouTube channel, they get paid off their likeness now. You could be a scrub. You could start a podcast. There's a lot of things now that you could work that you couldn't really do. The guys in the 80s and stuff, a lot of these guys is broke, and they didn't complain. These guys getting way more money complaining about every little thing. I'm just getting sick of this. I just got the love for the game, but I'm tired of this. Thing to me, I love tradition, and I hope no black people come on here and talk about everything needs to be changed, because that's the problem in the black community, because we have no tradition. We have no tradition. The Irish and Italians have traditions. The Spanish have tradition. The Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, the Latinos community, they have tradition. The Chinese people have tradition. Black people have no tradition. So it's always going to be black people going to probably come on here. No, it's strange. There's nothing wrong. It is. Let the forefathers, when they watch the game, it looks like somewhat okay. You change the style of play. You want to change, then you want to say, we need to get rid of Jerry West as a logo. Change it to Michael Jordan. Why? What? So you want to take everything from these guys where the game started. You want to take everything away from it, and I think that's not right. That's not right. These guys started the pioneers. I think the pioneers should always, when they watch the game, it should look like somewhat of the game they played. Now things different. Okay, the arenas, of course, a lot of stuff had to get upgraded. The uniforms different. A lot of teams moving and different different states. Some teams move, but my thing is this, man: keep some type of tradition. You know what I mean? Even the sound of it, that like it don't always have to be hip hop music. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with back in the days? You had 3 coaches. Now you got 10 coaches. You know what I'm saying? And another thing what these players complain about, they talk about, oh, what about when you have four games and seven days, playing 4 games in 7 days? What about those days? What about those days? What you could do? But see, players don't want to sacrifice nothing. What you could do in them 4 games, if a player averaged 35 minutes, cut them back to 25 minutes. You got a 15-man roster compared to a 12-man roster you had back in the days. You had 12-man roster. Now you technically got 17 because you got 2-way guys you can call up at any minute. So you got 17 guys compared to 12 guys. You know what I mean? And you got tons of coaches. It's ways you could do it. You know, them games like that, but them guys don't say, oh, I don't want to play no 20. They don't want to play no 25 minutes for 4 average. You scale back their minutes because now it messing with their stats. See, a lot of these players is being hypocrites. You know, they want to say, oh, just that. No, play 20. These 4 games, and that may happen no more than 2 times a year. That may happen twice a year. You may have a schedule like that, 4 games and 7 days. That may happen once or twice. So when that time happens, you play 25 minutes. And this way, these guys who don't get no minutes, they get some minutes. And you don't have to worry about getting burnt out. So now you play 100 minutes and 4 nights. That's like a average. Now you know what I mean? Because now if you're playing 35 minutes, you 35, 40 minutes. You in the 2.5 games, you pretty much got that. So now that's ways you can do it. You don't have to sit out and things like that. You know, I just think that it's horrible, man. And I just think I don't like it. I think these players today is super soft. They get this money and don't perform in the playoffs. And it's like, okay, oh well, deal with it. I don't like their attitude, you know what I mean? They get all this money, then it's like F you. They come get right off the court after they got bumped in the playoffs and they post a picture, they party and living their best life, don't even have no respect. Like, damn, I should be a little upset. These people gave me $100-something million and I did nothing. I tucked my tail. They don't care. They don't care nothing what you say about. They got their money. They're doing them. So I think that this game, like I said, is disrespectful, and the NBA should keep some of their tradition. Adam Silver is trying to set his mark on the NBA. When all said and done, he gonna say I'm responsible for the play-in tournament. That's under his watch. The mid-season tournament, that's under his watch. You know what I mean? Style of play. A lot of things it's going to look at him, and a lot of guys, and what they say is, oh, Stephen A. and them guys, oh, Adam Silver, he works with the players so much. He works with the players so much. He gets it. Adam Silver gets it. You know, the LeBron versus Steph All-Star game. Yeah, they could wear hoods. No. I'm tired of that shit. Let these young kids see it's all right to wear a suit. And see, the problem is, let me tell you the thing about suit. The suit game is like kind of done. Because now it's like, when you see these young black African-American kids, it's like they don't even wear suits no more. Now with graduations, you know what they wear? They wear a suit with sneakers. A lot of things now, parties and stuff, suit with sneakers. Or blazers. You don't see like the 3-piece suit with the hard heel. Graduate funerals, people come to funerals any type of way. Graduations any kind of way. You know, it's like the suit means nothing now. You know, it's a $1 billion industry, and guys want to come look at any kind of way. And that's another thing. You got guys look at their hair, be wild wolfing. No, You know what I mean? I'm not telling you to be down, but I think that the NBA should have some type of grooming clause. This is a product you putting out there, a grooming clause where you got to be trim. I'm not saying you go like the Yankees, you making guys cut all their facial hairs. No, I'm not saying that. But if a guy got an afro, let it be nice and neat, like how Kobe had his afro. You know what I mean? Like that. If you're gonna have a nice trim, like how Harden, sometimes his beard be nice and trim. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be. If you got long hair, put your hair in braids. Don't have your hair wild, sweating, and your sweat get all in other players. Cause I played like last year, where the guy his hair was wild. He had like he took his braids out, and his hair was just long, like dreads, looking like more like Kobe White type of hair, and his hair was shit falling all in my eyes and things like that. Like I just think that's just come on, man. I think that's a little too much. It should have some type of grooming clause in this. Be respectful. You know what I mean? That's what it should be. You come to a game, you could come in the arena any way you want. But if you're on the injured list, you wear a suit, and they should bring the coaches back with suits. Now I'm hearing the coaches might not come back with suits. They may come with their polo shirts like they've been doing since the bubble. Adam Silver, I think he's doing a little too much, and I'm losing a lot of respect for Adam Silver. I think he's catering too much to these players. And like I said, LeBron doing what he do to submit the game, because when the game said and done, he's setting his mark on the game, which some stuff I don't mind him setting his mark on the game, but I don't like that LeBron versus Steph. I think that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? You represent the West, the guy represent the East. It should be that. You know what I mean? Guys with hoodies and stuff. Talk about some Trayvon Martin, knowing they had nothing to do with no Trayvon Martin. You know, I think it's disrespect, man. I'm just tired of this, man. I need you guys to really run the numbers up, man. At the end of the day, it's real stuff going on in these streets. People getting killed, and like I said, black people, we have no tradition. Everybody else have tradition. Everyone else have tradition. What tradition black people have? None. So I don't want to see no black bike come on my comments, say, oh, I don't have no problem with this. Change is good. I don't mind change. I'm not saying some stuff be changed, but they try and change everything about the NBA. Change the ball, the color of the ball. They're trying to take the logo from Jerry West and give it to Michael Jordan. What's wrong with the logo? Let it stay. Let some stuff stay. What about the guys? Let some stuff stay how it used to be. They want to change the colors of the teams that had certain colors their whole existence. They want to change that. The style of play already changed. So please, tradition is important, man. Tradition is very important, and I just don't like the way that this game being played. These young guys, they complaining about everything, and I'm just tired of it, man. These guys, all they do is complain, man. They have to be men, suck it up, and play hard and be thankful at the end of the day. It's about being thankful. You know, run the numbers up, man. Run the numbers up. Like, subscribe, peace, and share.